What's your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So looking ahead 5 years from now, what do you see? What do you think you'll be doing? Calm down. Can we all just not, please? If that's okay. It is too far in advance and I don't care what anyone says, it's not helpful. What's up people? I'm Viv May, the official multi-hyphenate queen, and this is the Creative Survival Guide. In these episodes, I share with you all the lessons that I've learned over the years, some very reluctantly. They were hard lessons that will help you on your journey and also serve as a reminder to me. If you're a creative, a designer, a musician, an artist, a writer, an actor, a DJ, an entrepreneur, this is for you because I know just how hard it is to keep going. This life is not easy. And so that is what this guide is for. Let's get into it. How do I say this softly? Fuck a 5-year plan. Bye. Be gone. We don't need you. Guys, I don't know what my hair is doing today. Please just focus on the message. Not the... I've always hated the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Actually, I haven't always hated it. The hate has developed over the years. And it's because back in the day when I was like on being a singer, like fully coming for Beyonce's crown, I would say in a couple of years' time, I want to be on this stage, doing this, signed to this label. This is what I see for myself. And I had these like big dreams and it was just not received the way I hoped it would be. I'd usually get like a, oh, okay, yeah, that's good. So like, how are you gonna, and just seeing like the doubt in people's eyes or like the tone of their voice that sort of said, okay, like all the best, but are you sure? It was really disheartening. And over time, it did like chip away at me. Because once you notice they just don't see it for you, it gets in there and you start to think, oh, can I attain that? What is on my face? Is there something there? It's the hair. Don't focus on it. Even if they weren't that skeptical, the moment I said it out loud, it just seemed so big and so unattainable. And then I'd get really anxious about it. And the more I talked about it, the less I thought I could do it. Now, something that you may not have considered, but that's really key here, and I think what was going on with me and might be going on with you if you ever feel that kind of anxiety, is when you're thinking about your creative project in 5 years' time, whatever it is, you can't separate it from other areas of your life. So you might think, I want to be on this stage in 5 years' time, but what else does your life look like? So I would think, I want to be on the stage. And then I think, and my girls will be cheering from the side and they'll all be doing their thing. Like we'll all be like just making it in the game. Like she's a boss in this and she's killing it in that. And they've come to see me perform. And then I think, who are these friends? Who are your girls? Who are the friends who are doing the thing that you're doing now, who are just as hungry as you? Do you have like a tribe around you? No. So I need to work on building my tribe as well. Like I need to make sure that I'm doing that so that in 5 years' time I'll have my girls at the side of the stage. And then my man will be over there and he'll be like cheering me on and he'll be so fine and we'll have so much fun. Okay, and who is your man? Are you dating now? Is there someone who you see yourself with? Oh. Okay, so in 5 years' time, when I want to be on stage and doing all these things, I'm going to need my girls, so I'm going to have to start, making more of an effort to like meet people now who have the same passions as I do and like get on with them and all of that jazz. Start making those investments now. Okay, I've got that to do as well. And the man, okay, so I should probably start, going out a bit more and like meeting people and getting to know guys, I don't know, so that the man is there as well. Okay, and then after the event, I'm gonna go home to like my lovely house or my lovely apartment and like we're all just gonna hang, we're gonna chill, it's gonna be so great. Are you now? Okay, lovely. How are you going to afford this amazing apartment that you see in 5 years' time? Do you have an apartment now? Do you live by yourself now and it's just going to be like an upgrade? Oh no. Oh, you can't afford to move into so you should probably be thinking about getting your money up as well in those 5 years. So because of that, I would end up thinking about the big dream of being on stage, but also about the people who'd be around me, and also about the partner that I'd have, and also about the house that I would live in.
Another one, thank you.
And then all of a sudden, it was not just that being on stage in 5 years' time, it was all these other things which suddenly felt really, really big and really heavy, and like I had lots of things to do. And so where do you start? Now, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That is a saying that I've heard a number of times, and it is true. I do say that to myself when I'm like leaving things to the last minute. And I'm like, Viv, are you really going to be able to do that if you don't put in any work at all? Come on, girl. Girl, come on, girl. I know you're good, but honey, fix up, look sharp. But yes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That is very true. But I think we need to use discernment. Oh my gosh, why is it so noisy? Do you know what? It's my fault. It's like after 5. It's rush hour. Who films at this time? The person who leaves it all day instead of doing it in the morning. Me. As an artist, as a creative, is that helpful? Is planning 5 years in advance helpful for you right now? Now, I'm not just talking, people. There are actually harmful effects of planning way too far in advance. When you look 5 years ahead, the goal tends to be quite big. It should be anyway. And the bigger it is, the scarier it seems and the harder it seems to achieve it. So you end up looking at this mountain and it can actually prevent you from even starting, even taking the first step, because it just looks too big. Or you focus on this mountain and you start taking steps and you step in and you step in and you step in and you step in and you look and you're like, oh, I'm still at the bottom. And then you're frustrated, you feel like a failure, you put it in the bin, you give up, the dream dies. Even with this series, me sitting in front of you talking to you right now, I've been thinking about it for ages, and then I thought, oh, let me get a nice studio and maybe I should have some guests come on with some episodes. Actually, I need to really think about production. Do I want more visual? I started thinking about all these things to add to this series to make it as great as possible. And I do want that, and I'm sure it's going to change over time. It won't just be me and like a wall behind me. It's given bare minimum, but I promise it's not. A lot of effort has gone into this. All of that was slowing down the process of me actually getting started. So it was a very conscious effort to be like, go in your living room, set up your ring light, sit in front of it and talk. Share your message, get your content out there. So that's what we're doing, baby. Whatever goal you're working on, whatever creative project you're working on, you start, right? And then you build momentum and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. If you're looking 5 years ahead, it is impossible to keep that momentum going. It's hard, you can't do it. Think about it. You watch athletics. We've all seen the Olympics. We've got the sprint race. Did I tell you I used to do athletics? Yeah. I used to do hurdles. I was fast in the relay, ran for Redbridge. Thanks. Qualified, but then came second last. Don't worry about all that. I wasn't feeling great that day. Back to the point. A sprinter is a great sprinter because they focus on sprinting. That's not what I meant. What I meant is, if the sprinter, let's take Sha'Carri. If Sha'Carri tried to maintain that pace over 400 meters instead of 100 meters, she'd burn out, it wouldn't happen, she wouldn't be as successful as she is now. Is that the right analogy? Yeah, basically you can't sprint for an extended period of time. You can, however, sprint for a shorter period of time. So if you're thinking in terms of goals, shorter goal, speed, momentum, more likely to attain whatever that goal is. A goal that's further away, sprint, burn out, give up. See what I'm saying? Is it coming together? Another thing that's really important to consider is if you are laser focused on your 5-year plan, you might miss out on fulfillment in other areas of your life that are just as important. I'm going to park here because I don't think we talk about this enough. What's your social life saying? I'm not trying to drag you. Remember, we are on the same page here. This is a reminder to myself. So it's never a dragging situation unless it's with love. Drag. Love. Now, I used to say all the time, I don't really like partying. Yeah, I used to party loads at uni. And when I go on holiday, I like to party. But here, I'm not really into like going out all the time. I don't really need to be up in the club. Like, plus I'm a DJ, so I'm outside in the evenings a lot of the time. This is what I used to say, and this is what I like believed, right? Then my family came to stay, and my cousins were over from LA, and I wanted to show them a good time. I was like, okay, we're going out. We were outside every single day.
No sleep. Bus. Club. Another club. Another club. Plane.
Club. Another club. Day party. Another club. No sleep. Another club. It was literally like that. And I lived. I had the best time. I had so much fun. I'm so like, I had so much fun. I loved getting dressed up at night, going out, partying till like all hours, meeting people, bants, jokes, turning up, shots. I had a time. I really enjoyed it. I love going out. What do you mean? As a creative, there is always something to do. So it's so easy to say, I don't really like doing that, or I haven't got time to do that, because there's always like creative work to work on. And I'd gotten so used to saying, yeah, I don't really like partying, because I'd want to be in working on whatever I was working on. If I wasn't out DJing or at an event, I'm working on my craft. And I kind of neglected just going out partying and came up with this story that I didn't like it. Mad. Now that was my little example, but in the same vein, being kind of more aware of all this, I loved going out with my cousins, meeting new people, having a great time. And so I've been more proactive with reaching out to other friends, reaching out to new people who I have like mutual interests, like similar interests to, and saying like, hey, do you want to go to this? We've been to some parties and just had like a really great time. And I'm not saying that. A part of me wishes that I'd made this effort years ago, a long time ago, and was like more outside. But also, it's never too late. You're always on time. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. You've never missed out on anything. So that I'm going out a bit more now, that's great too. I'm not outside all the time, by no means, but it is good to nourish that part of yourself that is not focused on work and focused on, building your kind of like social, I don't even want to call it network, because that's got like worky connotations to it, but like your social circles, you know? You could be spending more time with your family. If you've got nieces and nephews like me, I adore them. Spending more time with them, nurturing those relationships, taking the time to visit your aunts, your grandparents, your brothers, sisters, just focusing a little bit more on family. Doesn't have to be like all the time, but investing in those relationships, take a little time to do that too. And what about those guys that asked you out? Or the ones you matched with? The one you swiped, matched, and then said nothing? But again, if you're a single Pringle, all good. Hey, like many benefits. But if you know you'd like to meet someone, like what are you doing? And what about traveling? Oh my goodness, I was living my Emily in Paris, except it was Viv in Lisbon life, when I took a solo trip to Lisbon, Portugal. I had the best time. These are things you can be doing. This is another area of my life that was important, that I didn't even realize was important. Just traveling more, seeing the world, not being afraid to travel solo. I had the most amazing time. I was living that life. I don't believe anything happens too late. So if you think it's too late for me to start this, it's too late for me to invest in those relationships or go traveling or whatever, it's not. You're right on time. You can make it work. I believe in you. Now, I've spoken a lot about how a 5-year plan is just not what you need in your life. I'm so sorry, not sorry, but it's time to inject some positivity, okay? It's not so much F a 5-year plan completely, more reframe it. Think shorter term. Why? There are many benefits to setting shorter term goals. One, it's more exciting. It's more exciting to think about where you'll be in 3 months' time and how you're going to get there, as opposed to 5 years' time. 3 months, you can kind of see that. It's like you can almost, like 3 months, Viv in 3 months' time. I feel like hey girl, hey, I can see her. I know what she's going to be doing, what she's going to look like, and I can see the steps to get there. Viv in 5 years' time, is that her? I can't see her, not clearly. Not as exciting, not as motivating, less likely to get it. Set a shorter term goal, you're gonna be more excited about it, you're gonna be more likely to achieve it. Another benefit is you can treat yourself when you get there. Who doesn't love a treat? So you set your goal in a month's time, you can see it, it's tangible, you work towards it, you achieve it, you celebrate yourself. You build your confidence. Not only do you get to like pat yourself on the back or have a little glass of something bubbly if that's how you want to celebrate. I know that's how I do. But it does also build your confidence. You develop the mindset of, I can actually achieve my goals. What's next? What's next, baby? If you're more confident, you're more likely to go after what you want in all areas of your life. Setting short-term goals, achieving them, build your confidence. Lovely jubbly. When you have a shorter term goal, it's easier to focus on what it is that you actually need to do. When your goal's further away, like I said, it tends to be a lot bigger, and often you don't know quite where to start, like what needs to be done first or what needs to be done at all. If it's a shorter term goal, you can narrow things down. Okay, this is where my energy needs to go. You won't focus on all the other bits. You'll streamline it and you're more likely to achieve it. You're less likely to procrastinate. Let's be honest, if I don't have to do something for several weeks' time, it ain't getting done, honey. I don't like champion that at all. You should always prepare as far in advance as you can. But when you know you have plenty of time, you leave it. You put it off, you procrastinate. But if the goal or the task rather is more immediate, you're more likely to get to it, to get on with it and actually get it done. I'm not saying don't have the vision board. I love me a vision board. I've got a couple myself. I'm going to do another one in this new year that comes round. It's great to have a vision board, to see what your life will look like, to see that every day. You're internalizing it. It's going into your subconscious, and influencing your life in a positive way without you even thinking about it. Great. But let's be so for real. We don't know what 5 years is going to look like in terms of the technology that will be available, the types of jobs that will be available, the types of careers that might exist. YouTubing, being a gamer, content creation. There are so many careers that exist now that just didn't not too long ago. And even with all the advancements in like Web3 and AI, don't get me started, I'm a huge nerd. Again, all these technologies that we're all becoming more aware of now, we didn't know about them not too long ago. They didn't exist not too long ago. Maybe in a couple years' time, you want to pivot and do something else. Allow yourself to do that. Focus on what you've got going on right now, because who knows what you're going to want to do in a couple of years' time. Don't like trap yourself in that 5-year plan. That's another video. I'm a spin the block for that one. When I think about people now and how different their career is now to when they first started, again, it's kind of proof of what I'm saying. If we think about like Alicia Dixon, she started out in Mystique. They were a popping girl group. If you know, you know. Now, like, she's gone on to be one of the judges on Britain's Got Talent, a huge show. And I know she's got her own businesses. She's got so much going on now. She started off as a singer, as a rapper. Like, her life is completely different to what it was, and that's fine and that's great. Even someone like Stacey Solomon, remember her from the X Factor? Amazing voice, amazing singer. She's now like a pop-in presenter. She's done loads of shows. She's doing her thing now, and she started off, well, we first came to know her as being a contestant on the X Factor. I'm sure she didn't think in 5 years' time she'd be doing what she's doing now, or doing what, yeah, You know what I'm saying. And there's Ashley Waters, of course. If you know, you know. He was in So Solid Crew. I'm sure most of you know him as Deshane from Top Boy. But yeah, he's in acting, doing his thing. He's got his own acting school. So much going on for him. And I realised my examples are mostly like in music, but that's just because of my background. I'm sure if you think not too hard, you'll see plenty of examples of people whose careers have chopped and changed. And that is absolutely fine. In fact, it's great. Don't get too locked in to this idea of where you have to be in 5 years' time. My survival advice is think short term. Think 6 months from now. And if you're bad, think 1 year from now, if you're bad. But ideally, think 6 months from now. Plan month by month what the goal is, what you're going to do to get there, and move that way. All this 5-year business, nah. Okay? Okay. If you are a designer, a musician, an artist, a singer that is also a musician, hello Carl. Now, what are the benefits of short-term goals? Many. My cousins were over from LA